Welcome to the final quarterfinals of this expansions tournament. Sounded kind of weird. We're on the American bracket once again, and what a game it's going to be. This quarterfinals run has been nothing short of crazy so far, and this one is promising to be one of the best we've seen. We have pimpkarp versus lulnenko. Both of those guys are on top of the game, and the game is Hearthstone, and that happens to be the game that we're playing today. So should be an incredible matchup. The winner of this is going to move on to the American semifinals to face the newcomer Kid. Either way, it'll be a great matchup. Of course, if you have seen the first round, pimpkarp was actually the guest commentary on lulnenko's match versus Real Raptor, and we'll see if that actually pays off for him, and if he was able to do a good scouting report on him. So JJ, introduce us to what we're seeing here.
pimpkarp is bringing a Galakron Rogue, a Egg Warrior, a Spell Druid, and as you can see, his Demon Hunter is banned. Is a Pebble Demon Hunter, not very surprising.
Fastest stack in the lineup.
Lulnenko is also bringing an Egg Warrior, and he's bringing a Highlander Mage and a Highlander Shaman. And his Galakron Priest is banned. I think this is one of the most novel lineups we've seen.
A lot of Highlandering going on for lulnenko. And lulnenko you might know as the big Battlegrounds expert, and he's one of the premier, as we're telling these guys to actually get ready to go. He's one of the premier Battlegrounds players in all of Hearthstone in the entire world. That's definitely his expertise, but he's not a slouch constructed either. He's definitely an elite player, one of the best. And of course we know that pimpkarp he's a champion of Trash Bowl 1 and bursts onto the scene. Of course, great member of our community and generally just a great dude. He has a cat.
What? Who?
Pimpkarp
has a cat, yes.
He's notoriously famous for having a cat.
Also on his profile picture.
On his profile picture.
We assume that is the same cat.
that is correct. Great humor too, so we appreciate having him. Of course, he's helping out sometimes. This should be a tough match. Yeah, look forward to this. Before we get into it, let me remind you to drop a like on the video if you do enjoy this, or even if you don't. Like, hell, man, you guys are putting their heart and soul into it. Also, we're up at 2 in the morning to record this for these guys, so give us a like, give these guys a like, even more so because they're playing big time video gamage for your entertainment for free. So drop a like and subscribe to our channel if you don't want to miss what's going on in the future, because this tournament is getting hot. Also, if you want to go the extra mile, link in the description to our Discord server, where these guys are, and a lot of other great players, and us. Latter part, not as important, but we're there. Join that.
We are, in fact, there, and we'll see in a second which decks they decided to match first with, and it appears that we're still loading. That's what it is.
It's true. Getting Mage on Druid Violence. So right away, we see pimpkarp flexing with the Hazel Bark.
Yeah, I mean, at some point we'll get to a point where in Hearthstone where you see hero and every now and again you'll just go,
what class?
What class?
Yeah, it might, depending.
They are labeled to, like,
True.
give Blizzard credit where it's due. It's not often due, but,
correct.
You know.
Sometimes it is. Oof. Highlander Mage for lulnenko picked up, and that Overseer, is that what it's called?
Yes. Observer, yeah.
That's a big one against this Druid, potentially. You could drop that like it's hot on turn 3 if he wants to.
Yeah, and we see both players not having the greatest starting hand here.
They're showing off that it's currently Midsummer Festival going on. That is correct. I like how the tree wants fireworks to be doused. That makes a lot of contextual sense because trees burn.
I mean, I would assume that he probably has some degree of resistance over a regular... I mean, generally, trees don't actually burn that well.
They're fine. They're made out of wood.
Yes.
Trees burn.
And they're very wet. Not
during midsummer.
Okay, that's a good point.
This is not New Year's fireworks. This is like midsummer fireworks. Dude.
Yeah, I would assume that treants probably have a little bit of additional
water storage.
Yeah, I think they're not. I don't think they dry out as much as regular trees do.
Oh no.
They can move to water sources if they need to. They walk, right? They're not stationary.
Yeah, still they're made out of wood. Overgrowth coming up, and he's got some explosiveness coming up pretty soon with Mount Cellars on the left and right of his hand. But speaking of explosiveness, lulnenko has definitely got some good development here, and he can't pick himself up a free mana crystal. Doesn't help him a lot this turn. We're expecting just put up the secret. No, he's not to, right?
Yeah, secret, ping face.
Question is, do you attack with the mana sable, or do you keep it maybe for turn or two?
Depends on if you feel like you can out-control the druid. And I mean, he played the observer early, so I think he wants the aggressive star.
You might want to hold it just so you can like use it on one of your dragons, your big dragons, in 2 turns.
You would think so, but the counter argument is that he played observer a little early for it to be effective.
Played it
to prevent the
on
druid.
3, stalling out Glowfly on 5. I think it makes sense. Mount Cellar down, and pimpkarp is gonna go right where he needs to be with all the spells coming down. Presumably
Yeah,
3 of them.
He kills the observer very cleanly there.
Sure. Picks up Owl, not great. That is a rush.
Like yeah, that. It doesn't help though.
And a Zigzor, that's one of
Zigzor's pretty good.
Definitely one of the high rolls there. He's gonna love to see that.
Though, of course, hasn't played a single Fungal Fortunes yet, so that is just gonna discard the Zigzor Prime if you draw it with that. Reno is not enough.
Reno could be in the cards, though. We'll see.
But Reno deals 10 if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
And we're looking at a very awkward 14 on the board there.
If you try
with 3 from the Mana Saber.
True.
And oh right, Arcane Breath, Arcane attack with that Mana Saber.
Oh, he's got like Flame Ward here potentially.
Yes. Though I still like Reno better at this point. So you might consider playing him. Mirror Entity is also weird though. Yeah, takes a trade, and then plays the Reno to clear everything up.
Definitely the smart play.
Yeah, I mean, it's just what you expect in the situation. Now, of course, we know that pimpkarp has another monster on his hands. So.
As well as a Glowfly Swarm. So he's kind of got his choice here. He could Mount Cellar, get another couple out there. He could also Overflow.
Overflow for Glowfly next turn. I don't hate just Mount Cellar, Innervate, Power of the Wild here.
Maybe that Glowfly Power.
Oh.
Both are good choices. We'll see what he decides to go.
What do you feel about Rising Winds Glowfly?
Rising Wind Glowfly. Potentially.
You know, draw you an extra card, likely a spell.
Overflow will be it.
And there's an Ironbark drawn. Doesn't matter this turn, but if you want to go with Mount Cellar next turn over Glowfly, that would be possible, though I think we're gonna see Glowfly Power of the Wild or something, maybe double power. And then the Mount Cellar later, because you don't want to play all the cheap spells and then not have anything for Glowfly.
Sure. Some say Moonfire just to have hand space. I would assume that it's Power of Creation time for lulnenko here. There's no reason not to go with it. Just put some pressure on it.
Yeah, and we'll see what he gets.
Auctioneer could be interesting, besides to go Dragon, though.
There's not that many spells. I mean, it's just an incidental extra draw or two.
Sure.
He decides to go with a very sticky board, which is going to be very important trading down the line.
Speaking of big boards, here the kick of pimpkarp. Hailing down with all sorts of spells right here. With that Mount Cellar and looking for some high rolls, looking for those Zigzors, those Rushes, those Porcupines.
Turns out he's one of the players that buffs the Porcupine. I like it.
Yeah.
I may or may not have called it out on other players
Major
before.
Value, second Porcupine on the board. Gonna like to see that now.
Ooh, how about Malagos's Pollen?
How
do I feel about that? For the big Porcupine, you know? Or even the Mount Cellar. But I think you can push through the other taunt and then just kill the Mount Cellar traditionally.
See where he decides to go. You could push your Alexstrasza out for just full tempo play.
He could, yes, that is true.
Literal Misha on the board, by the way, just got hit there by Reno. True.
Oh, right, it is a 4/4 bear, yeah, with
here
taunt.
Comes the Alexstrasza.
Turns out bears have taunt, pigs have charge.
True. Makes sense.
Oh, those are both very interesting battle cries. Yep. Especially the spellkin for the mage. Brightwing, I feel like his off-namp's disappointing.
Take it with a Faldra's. Could have been better, could have been worse.
Yeah. Again, often disappointing.
Yeah, not the greatest, we'll admit that. But he's holding his own at this point against his Druid, which is supposed to be the board-centric deck, so I think he's doing just fine. Mount Cellar, of course, forced to live for pimpkarp, so he's going to utilize that probably again.
Yeah, I feel like I might have liked the Malagos here for... there's a couple of things you can get, right? You can get some AoEs, you can get the Polymorph. It's... Even just getting a damage Fireball would have helped there.
Neutralizing that second Mount Cellar would have been pretty good. Makla, of course, is the highest statted minion in the pool, and he picks up yet another Bog Beam, so there's more. Wait, there's more.
Yeah, so that Mount Cellar is going to put in the work, and we might see lulnenko regretting not going for a chance to take it out early.
We'll see.
There certainly seems to be a rising wind there.
There's a lot of value still to be had for pimpkarp. I would be surprised if it didn't fill up his whole board here. Even Fungal Fortunes right now, keep drawing, keep going.
Yeah, I think we might see a Power of the Wild at the end there to buff the entire board. There is another augmented Porcupine. Don't underestimate. We've seen some of the pings from the Porcupine being used to set up Bog Beams.
There's a Bog Beam and the Moonfire will come down. filling up the entire board officially. Another Porcupine Power of the Wild. This is going to be absolutely huge. And there's a Raven for good measure. Big things coming in for pimpkarp. This is going to be kind of tough to deal with already. Let's see what he starts to pick up.
Malygos is still possible.
There's still one Malygos for your Flame Strike or something.
Flame Ward is still a decent thing to play.
You have to remove some serious damage off the board. Goes Malygos. See what he gets. Oh, none of those are it.
I mean, Polymorph would have been really good last turn. It's not as impactful this turn. On the Monster or the Porcupine, because you had enough attacks to kill the Monster traditionally. Either way, more or less the same thing. Fireball doesn't quite kill the Monster. Also, even Polymorph killing... Oh, actually, Fireball does because it took a trade there. But even that, it's not that much.
Besides, the Monster needs to go.
Yeah, and I think we might just see the Flame Ward here. There's not that much at 3 health, but...
Doesn't prevent death. We'll have to do some number crunch as soon as it becomes Pimp's turn. He's gonna use this Ray of Frost actually to freeze some different things. That's smart.
To freeze like most everything, yeah.
That's a smart play from lulnenko.
The question is he gonna start his counter push now and say maybe I can win in 2 turns?
We'll see. He might.
He doesn't have that much push damage, but yeah, he
much rather goes to the face saying, "Yo, I got."
That's exactly what I was talking about in terms of counter push. Now, there is an argument you can make to freeze the Raven over the Porcupine, but I think the Porcupine makes more sense because you don't want the death to go off.
That's a pimp. He has some buffs there, no more Mount Sellers, so he's not
Double Saboteur plus Iron Bar, if we're looking at 12, 17, 18, hero power, 19. I like doing the math with that sort of thing. Listen, right, 19 is a lot closer to 28 than you thought.
You gotta hold it. You gotta hold it. He's taking some trades here himself. Smart play. He's gonna have to give something taunt, make sure he doesn't run into danger of getting himself.
I want to say here, here you see the dragon plus the Calicos, and all of a sudden there's
a guy picks up a freaking Pyroblast or even just a Fireball of the Calicos, and he got problems. But I like that play. Might even use this to heal. Just make sure.
Whistleblower Feeling is a very important tool in the spell grid.
Absolutely. As the Overgrowth. You want to push a Fungal Fortunes out here?
Plays the excess mana for the draw.
Oh, Sarah picked up. That's a good one.
Ysera first, then Fungal Fortunes.
Yeah.
If you draw the Ysera portal, it'll still trigger, and you'll draw another card. Even if that's a minion, it's still not going to be discarded.
Still has push here. We'll see if the Caligos can do something for lulnenko, if he wants to go with that. He could also decide to add some actual taunt here. Maybe he feels like he has to almost. Valdris is interesting. Looking for answers. Zephyr's found!
For
Zephyr's
1 mana?
Doesn't do much. True.
I mean, that being said, he's not immediately losing,
That's also correct. Yeah, he's definitely holding here.
I think by making the aggressive play last turn, he gave himself a spot where his opponent has to react, so he could now afford to actually...
He's still living, yeah.
Because his opponent had to trade, and now he is living because of it.
He's living, and he's living with it.
Because sometimes the best defense is actually a good offense.
There's the Sarah coming down. Big dragon.
Now, of course, you can't Final Forces this turn, but, I mean, we'll see those come down.
Well, there's going to be a couple more dragons showing up, I feel like, yeah. Rolling Fireball is a good pickup, especially with this Lariat on hand.
On board, yes.
On board.
9 damage is not that much. Calicos is definitely possible, especially because worst case scenario, you're still just playing Fireball.
Yeah.
Best case scenario, you kind of sort of almost win, but not quite, so you probably still don't do that. Flashback is interesting, but probably not it.
Frost Nova instead. Now the Fireball's free instead. He's going to use that. It's quite a good idea.
Yeah. He knows, I mean, he knows there's like a million portals in the deck, so he knows that Frost Nova is very good. Zigzor is drawn.
Zigzor Prime is drawn,
yes.
Of course, off of the Mount Seller. That's a big draw. He's going to like to see that one as pimpkarp.
Yeah, and you can deal with the entire board now if you want to. And you can still Fungal Fortunes.
Pick up some more dragons? Yes, please.
Kill the Zigzors off first because you're drawing 3 cards and the portals can change, so you want all the board space you can have. And yeah, between the Zigzor and the
geese,
the Sarah, you can actually trade off there. Seems like he's gonna go for Rising Winds for
An eagle wants a single bird. It's interesting. Plays around the Reno, actually. So does lulnenko get suckered into going Reno here? He hasn't seen a single portal yet. He hasn't seen a glowfly swarm.
I mean, your counterplay to... That's... The counterplay is still open, right? You still have Frost Nova and...
You could just up the Siamat, and he is going to be doing exactly that. So we know there's still a lot of push in pimpkarp's deck, and there's still a lot of answers for lulnenko available. He's going to clear this up once again. It makes sense playing the control game.
And again, he has 2 full board clears on hand, plus the Zephyrs, which is effectively, if you want it to be another board clear, which, speaking of, you always gotta be careful. If there's like 2 minions on board and Zephyrs on hand, there's unexpected lethals happening.
Ooh, here comes a glowfly swarm. Saying I'm gonna start pressuring you a little bit here. Still half asleep, it seems.
He hadn't attacked. What is the exact trigger for Flame? It is just
after minion attacks.
After minion, never mind. I thought it was after Hero's attacked because then I was like, this is not a good
problematic. That's explosive crap.
But yeah, because if your face would have killed everything, that would not have been it.
Reno time? Zephyr's time? You have a
Flame War time.
Choice of board clears. Could be Flame War time.
Flame War deals with the entire board. I mean, that is assuming your opponent doesn't buff it twice. It's unlikely, though. You already saw both powers of the Wild Blade, so... Well, there's not a Flame Ward.
What's a Flame Ward?
For good matter. For good measure.
Pimpkarp will know that that's Flame Ward, of course.
There's one portal drawn. Let's see if we're going to see another one.
You don't want to see the portals right now, because no dragon's being summoned. Those go nowhere, but he's drawing.
My god!
There's not a lot of cards in this deck. That's what happens, right?
Is that all the cards he has left?
It's gonna be a lot of them. Oh, Soul of the Forest is big.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything for Reno. I think if we play Soul this turn, we're gonna see Reno come down.
Yeah.
And he's gonna poof them out of existence.
Has to be the answer, right? You might trade stuff into this Drake here, saying, I know it's Flame Ward. I'm gonna chill. See what it does. Yeah, it does gonna trade with this dragon.
And you can still play Glowfly now, and Soul.
Then you want to hit first, right? Now you want to hit the Flame Ward,
trigger the Flame Ward, play Glowfly, and play Soul, and then just concede after Reno comes down.
Yeah, you have one more portal push. But it seems like it will have more answers than...
What is there, 4 portals left? Is it 4 or is it 3?
It might be 3.
Ooh, if it's 3, that's gonna be dicey if you draw the one card that's on the portal.
You have to make the deck here. Or does he try to build it now? Fungal Fortunes?
I mean, Fungal Fortunes and freaking Soul of Force is kind of the same play as Glowfly.
Glowfly Soul will likely be removed from lulnenko here. And he still has that Doomsayer.
If he plays Reno, then of course the dragons come down, but then we see Flame Ward, Flame Ward Doomsayer, and then there's nothing.
Correct. He still has the Doomsayer. And even the Zephyrs, so... more than enough things to be able to clear, to be able to hold this, I think.
Yeah, but I think here the Reno is perfect because obviously, if you're not familiar with him, makes all minions disappear.
Yep.
It is not a destroy effect. It does not trigger death rattles.
And that's not a huge dragon.
No, there was inner weight drawn, so you might play Rising Wind to get your remaining portals.
I feel like, yeah, you have to just make a last push.
So I think I never noticed it, but does he have 10 armor? No, he has 5. Oh, yes. Where did he get the other 5 armor from?
Good question. That's a good question. I don't even remember, man.
I thought he... Did he have some left over from a freaking ice barrier? Was that it?
Yeah, that might be it, yeah.
There's the Sarah drawn and the fatigue drawn.
The Sarah you'd probably prefer as a battle cry to go off. But that will seal it. That will seal game 1.
He's putting as much damage as he can.
Got it. That'll be game 1. As the deck is empty for pimpkarp. And the control held on.
I mean, there's always a chance that Reno's gonna fuck you over.
Yeah, that will be
not
hard.
That bad.
That'd be very tough to do. Let's drop a Zeph, or the Frost Nova's fine.
Yeah, and there's 2 more card draws in hand for pimpkarp and what? A ramp and the board buff? What are you gonna do?
So go play lulnenko, even sets up a taunt saying no mas. And pimpkarp is presumably gonna resign this match, but not before maybe milling himself.
I was about to say he can kill himself with mill, I think. Yeah,
I'll just play the overflow and do it in style, I think. But yeah, lulnenko is going to take the 1-0 lead as he wins with the control mace. So that was a very, very big point for him already. He wants to definitely beat that druid, and he did a good job there. I'll be aiming at that again. We'll see if pimpkarp decides to bring the druid out right away, or if he decides to maybe I'm gonna switch for a second. Here we see the ridiculous card drop going down, trying to maximize damage.
Minus 32.
That's what you love to see. Could go warrior, could go rogue, or he could say the mage was the worst matchup. I'll come back with the druid. Of course, he's very intimately familiar with lulnenko's decks. He's commented, of course, casted his first game, so he got the early scouting on it. And he knows that the Shaman is one of his lulnenko's personal favorites. Some that he's very, very well versed with, very skilled in playing, and it's a novelty that you don't see on the ladder at all.
Yeah, and I think oftentimes banning the novelty decks is a good idea. Especially if you know your opponent brings it because either they're very good with it, or just generally you know they're a good player and they bring a novelty deck. There's probably a reason.
Yeah, they're lab with that. We have warrior on warrior violence, and those are going to be very similar decks, so it should be a good matchup.
Yeah, my notes say both of them are egg warriors, but then again my notes also confuse warrior archetypes all the time, so who knows? They look like egg warriors.
They're not bomb warriors though.
I mean, it's even if what's the difference? There's a wrench caliber and they're great.
Yeah, bombs. Blast master, boom, rom, got some pretty decisive.
There's a version without bombs and with Groms. Quite frankly, I don't see why the regular egg warrior doesn't run Grom, but I guess you just don't get to 8.
Yeah. Just don't have the space for it.
The same reason probably why I don't run Dragon Queen in my Zoom Warlock. It's like you don't get to 9 that much, and
doesn't happen to. And even if you do, it's probably not that impactful in that deck, right?
Yeah, if I get to 9, I get it off of Draconic Lackey. I'll do it. Anyways, Egg Warrior Mirror, Ankar comes down. So which is important for the skippers.
They're both building here.
Ooh, now lulnenko's hand's looking disgustingly good.
Looking pretty nice already. He's gonna pick up his life for our lands here.
We're seeing the skipper and the bomb wrangler on hand in combination with an armor smith, so
it's gonna be good. Bomb wrangler also now drawn for pimpkarp, and he's gonna add his skipper to the mix. So.
Ankar's gonna give him skipper, yeah. That's.
It seems like these guys are going fast here. These warriors are definitely coming together.
Of course, if you know that you're facing another egg warrior, you can also potentially at some point just drop down the bomb wrangler, being like, "No, you don't skipper right now."
Exactly.
Not quite pulling the trigger on that one yet, and woof, I think you like
Rampage might be good.
Heroic Strike and Rampage both.
Though Execute can also be equally valuable, because you know your opponent is trying to ping their own minions.
There is 3 good spells, and they're all 2 of them are good in the same way.
I like the Rampage.
I don't hate it. I do definitely think that there is a point to be made for the Heroic Strike, because it's a more immediate lethal push. Which you like is interesting. The Wormhole Challenger is weirdly statted, so you might just attack with it and evolve it if you like. You could also just put it on your other lackey, get around a 2-drop.
Like you evolve out of a 1/10. Don't think so.
I feel like, 4-drops are decent, right?
Are they on average 11 stats?
I don't think so. Bomb Wrangler, as I said, just put down, you don't skip.
Yeah. Well, you could skip her, but if he needs the anchor first. Kills
the anchor up, so that's actually not even that
very good with the upgraded anchor. Has even the potential for the green skin it to really dig deep here. Playing Pirate Warrior.
If you had Pirate Warrior, there's definitely a bit of a wider variety of things you draw with the anchor. In this deck, we just see skipper. Some people also play Sky Raiders with it, but that's about as much as you're getting.
And the green skin, which of course will go ahead.
Yeah. You can tutor out the green skin with the anchor. So
Word Pill of Joy, I guess, is also optional. Not that common in non-pirate warriors though. So it does take out the bomb run. I think it makes a lot of sense.
Second skipper coming down, and that has some potential as well. Playing skipper, wrangler, skipper sort of a thing, and just getting all the procs.
Skip, wrangle, skip.
And speaking of skippers, there's this potential for Skipper Armorsmith to turn that health gap even more up to 11 for lulnenko here.
It's not a really complex matchup.
I don't think playing Skipper and Armorsmith here is the greatest play, but it's definitely a possible play. And it does set up some interesting stuff with both the Mercenary as well as if you want just an Evolve and Battle Rage. Does not get the hit on the green skin.
Yeah, I would have liked to kill that pirate. That is definitely true. Could use a Corcoran if he wants to get rid of it.
Yeah, but that's generally not necessarily the smoothest play. That being
down
said,
it with the other Wormhole Challenger if you just run the Lucky.
Yeah, the other question is just, do you maybe just get 3 Skipper procs?
Looks like he's about to skip him. That's what it's gonna be. And that's the Rampage. That's a good play too.
Rampage and the Challenger, and that point, it's really good.
Fork
Exactly, because the extra health becomes more important the more attack you have.
Yeah.
And it's oftentimes the case, right? The one that becomes more important the more you have of the other.
This could be the skip turn for Pimpkarp though. You run in, and then you skip 3 times, you clear the board up.
Yeah, and
Wrangle your own bombs.
He has 2 skippers as well to go incredibly nuts with it if he wants to.
He has an array of choices here, even Rampage.
Yeah, it's not gonna do that much though.
Rampage clears the Challenger.
Question is, do you Rampage and maybe like go full on, like you Iterate, you go Bloodsworn, and you just get... I mean, it's not gonna have charge, right? You're not gonna win with it, but you establish a huge war.
That's correct.
That being said, they won't be at 4 health, so Corcoran range. But skip around as quick as possible.
Skip turn, yeah.
It's definitely interesting that the Aggro Mirror is definitely very interesting because there is some very hidden board clears in there, and
it's an incredibly complex game.
It does seem like he wants 2 of the greenskins.
Say, give me his stats. And he's going to clear that Challenger off.
But now if you play Corcoran and hit it into the other greenskin, right?
Yeah, you cleared them. You did clear him.
Play Corcoran, hit in the greenskin, and then you play one more
potential look in here. Wait a second.
Alright, yeah, that's one. Corcoran, Bloodsworn gives you 8. You don't have the mana to do that, but it would give you 8.
Right.
But I mean, you could still take the trade here. It's interesting that he did play another minion.
Inner-Rage pickup could be, that's a good threat at least for next turn with the Corcoran Inner-Rage.
Yeah.
And then Bloodsworn.
Yeah, but I think you still kill the greenskin here, because, as you said,
you don't want to take any risks.
You have 12 damage next turn, and you can... If you want it to be... I was about to say if you want it to be really fancy, you can kill something with the Inner-Rage, but that, obviously you need that.
Pimpkarp saying time to skip. Saying he's too cool for school. I'm gonna skip this. Should probably Battle Rage and dig for his own Armor Smith or some more burst potential.
Yeah, without a second Wrangler, there's no way he can win this very turn.
Yeah.
And there's not the mana to make that happen, of course. So he could play another Skipper if he was feeling froggy or something else, or even...
But it doesn't seem like he's gonna get anything in the way here.
Much, yeah.
That means the Lulnenko wins the game.
It does very much look like it, yeah. That being said, we have seen people miss Corcoran lethals before.
I doubt this will happen. And whenever it did happen, Pimpkarp was the beneficiary last time it did.
Imagine that happening again.
Oh, Lulnenko's not gonna miss this one. He's gonna see this. And there we go. With the Bloodsworn, very complicated matchup. This warrior mirror. But Lulnenko with a 2-0 lead. So the Battlegrounds phenom. Showing the big skill in construct, saying I'm on the map, and he's up 2-0. Can Pimpkarp really come back into this one? He's going to be tested.
Yeah, and you called out the Shaman as a signature deck, and we haven't seen Lulnenko play it yet.
3 tries. I mean, if I told you got 3 tries to win with your Warlock to advance to semifinals, you'd probably be like, yeah.
I'd be happy with that. I generally try not to play it last, but that's...
But if you have to play any deck 3 times, you'd be like, I'll take my Warlock.
Yeah, of course.
That for sure.
But that's exactly why I played first, of course, because that way I get more shots with the decks that I'm not as confident with. But we're going to see what Pimpkarp does now with...
Yeah, he knows he sees the Shaman. He'll have scoured that Shaman, of course. He knows his matchups. What's the best? What is your best matchup? Do you go back with the Warrior and say, I'm going to go get my point? You like the Druid? Where's the weakness of that Shaman? It's very, very tough to determine.
That's the thing, right? And I feel almost like you face the Priest over the Shaman, and you know at least what you're doing, right?
Ban the Priest. Banning the Shaman must have been attractive. Opinion that he was at least thinking about him for.
And this is also like, Oof, if you're pimpkarp, this is a rough spot to be in.
Decision time right now, yeah. Absolutely.
You're looking at... You have to win 3 games against your opponent's signature deck.
One with the Galakrond Rogue, which has typically been a bit of a volatile deck.
Yes. Let's just say when it goes well, it goes well. When it goes poorly, oh boy.
It's kind of been what we've expected Spelldrewer to be. And Spelldrewer to a degree also has been.
But almost Rogue more so than the Duet.
Exactly. So let's see what pimpkarp decides to go with. This is his choice to make. lulnenko, the representative of Arizona. Not much of a choice there. Goes with Shaman. And we see Warrior again. pimpkarp saying, I'll just pick my best matchup here, trying to get a dub. Now this is a very interesting novelty for lulnenko. It's always I always enjoy seeing people that bring something that's like special and novel, and they're really good with it. Like I recall every year one of the highlights was just having Crown Cooker with the Shrivala Paladin.
I knew what you were gonna say.
Yeah, it's going up against any and everything and just winning every single game with that somehow.
We're looking at him, we go like, oh, he's not going to have this matchup. This is not going to go well.
Impossible. It's like the Shrivala Pally, he's back against the wall. Somehow he wins it every time.
That was a beauty build.
Those were great days.
For newer viewers, if you haven't seen it, honestly, just,
go back.
Look for the old Trash Bowl playlist. Just look for Crown Cooker,
with the Paladin. If you ever had a wild format or something, that's definitely something I'm looking forward to seeing again. And Anchor available for pimpkarp. See if he wants to go that or live also,
by the way, worth pointing out that he has the Terran Gorfiend on hand.
Yeah,
it's not something, of course, he's going to play on an empty board right now, but
that's a big one. Yeah, whenever the Goblin Bombs or the Boom Bots start coming out.
Yeah.
That is definitely something. Here comes the Lackey, I would assume. He's going to coin that just for tempo reasons. Hey, it's not bad.
I mean, the Searing Totem would have probably traded either way, but
he'll take
the thought.
Whose time? Whose time? I got this.
Listen, right? If I see a big statted weapon early in the game, I play my Ooze. That's a big tempo play.
That's another one, of course, for pimpkarp. He's got the Anchor in the back. Might as well right now, huh? Anchor down.
It seems like that might be what he's going for. I think, the card detached there was a terror, but I think that's just your mouse proximity thing. That's not what you're playing.
He's gonna play. Punching the Ooze. Ooze hits weapon, weapon hits Ooze. Cycle of life.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Harrison Jones potentially coming down, so we two can play this game. You play weapon, I kill. You kill, I kill.
Listen, right? You play a Highlander deck, you gotta bring different kinds of weapon removal.
You gotta tech against stuff. That is correct. So that's some good early game draws there. Definitely for lulnenko. We're gonna like seeing that.
And you can't really hate on keep removing the weapons, get some extra tempo in there. Skipper seems like it is about to come down there, and I think there's a Bomb Wrangle. No, it's not. There's no Bomb Wrangler on hand, is there?
No.
So it's still not horrible to play. I'm just saying it's not exactly what you want to do necessarily. Imprisoned Biofilm. I was about to say, it triggers it without taking any damage. It's a very interesting...
Gets his draw up there. I like the idea. Now we might see this Corrupt Elementalist coming down. It's one of the big reasons that makes it possible to play a Highlander Galakrond deck in Shaman specifically.
Yeah. Because you get the 2 procs of this, and then you can already see it's already in second form. And you get
board off,
to completely trade off the board. It's insane.
He does have another invoke on his hands along with the Krunks.
Yeah, and speaking of hands, right? pimpkarp also has a huge hand. He does have everything, but not what he wants.
He does have the Bubble Brute.
The Bubble Brute is good.
Big rush.
But it might not be exactly the kind of play he wants to make here.
Clear up, kill a guy with a hat, maybe. There you go. Galakrond now drawn for lulnenko. Does he play it? Time? No.
No, I think you're gonna fully upgrade
it and play it next turn.
I mean, why not? Yeah. Right? You get
this point.
You get a taunt, you get a good trade. You get to push some damage. You get to do everything you want.
Yeah. You play Galakrond next turn.
And how are you gonna lose once those A-dates are down?
Big storms, right?
Not to mention he's gonna push his opponent down to 13.
Yes. Now there is the Vile Fiend.
Yeah, that's gonna do a lot.
Awakened. full cost boot.
I mean, you can... Oh, yeah, that's not great. Yeah, clear off the board.
Potentially forced out there.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about, right? Like, we see pimpkarp playing a lot of things, but not...
He's playing passively.
Yeah.
Instant Galcron time, of course. Here come the storms. They'll clear both these minions up. And a claw, which could go face.
It could go face, but I think he wants to retain that health there, saying that he knows he can produce damage, damage next turn, and he even heals the other one back up.
The Witch's Brew for that. I like that a lot. I think it's out of any skipper range, and you find a way to deal with this. And this could already be pretty tough to do.
Do we see anything?
Or Quarterfinals.
Lands into Ethereal into Brawl?
Yeah,
like
that. Actually, lands hit the 2-1 into Ethereal into ramming speed. Into emote.
I mean, to be fair, if you do the tough part, there's getting the Ethereal.
Yeah.
I think getting some sort of removal in Warrior is not the most difficult thing in the world. I mean, ramming speed and Brawl are the only ones that are really effective here, but you're gonna be able to find something. Even just armor gain.
Even that, yeah. But it's big decision time. You have to remove it somehow. Other than that, there's not much coming back. So this shaman...
I mean, looking at his hand, right, Yeah, I don't think he has any outs besides the lands, does he?
Doesn't seem like it. Pirates? Probably not.
I don't think so,
yeah. For lands, what's gonna be.
Did he hit the... He did?
Yeah, looking for an execute.
Execute as a possibility, yeah. That was a draconic though.
That's not gonna do it. It's gonna draw, but it's not gonna be it. Iteration not gonna happen. Lulnenko is gonna take a 3-0 win, saying, "I'm here to stay." I'm playing for real this time as he takes a 3-0 over pimpkarp. That is actually a big surprise, but well, it's not a huge surprise, but it's a surprise. Box
we're gonna see an evolve.
Get some evolvation down.
Evolution?
Evolvation. Isera and the scenarios 3-0 over pimpkarp. What a performance! And that catapults Lulnenko into the field of absolute favorites. He's going to be facing Ket in the next round.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really argue with someone who just beat the champion, right?
Who beat a former champion and
former Trash Bowl champion.
Yeah, let's not forget pimpkarp.
Inaugural Trash Bowl champion.
pimpkarp is one of the best Hearthstone players under the sun, and Lulnenko just cleared up 3-0. We know how phenomenal Lulnenko is. Again, typically Battlegrounds expert, but even in constructed, just one of the best.
Just because you're good at one thing doesn't mean you're better at the other.
Unbelievable. One of the absolute best right now. So Lulnenko making semifinals is going to be facing Ket, and that should be an interesting game because Ket is a newcomer. We know his playing strength. He's a great player. Looking forward to that one for sure. So thank you everybody for watching. pimpkarp, of course, thank you for being there. I'm sure he sticks around anyway. He's going to be back next time, and he's also, of course, engaged in casting and hanging out with us and the other folks in the Discord server, so he's always great for that. By the way, join that link in the description. It's a great time. You don't want to miss meeting a guy like pimpkarp, and to a lesser degree, us also in there. But for today, thank you for watching. Drop a like on this as we're moving into semifinals, and yours truly, of course, we're both still involved. Hey, so hey, there's a lot of fun stuff coming up. 4 more games until we have the championship game set. Only 6 more games, and we will crown people.
Yes,
and have them on interviews, and we're going to go into the big one. Getting close. It's going to definitely be great, so thank you for watching. Drop a like and a subscribe to TrashcanTV to not miss the end of this tournament, because now we're going into the real hot phase. This is where the big boys play Hearthstone. And
us.
Yeah, too. So, should be a good one. Until next time, JJ.
That's it.
That's it.